Hey, welcome to another main contained fishing podcast with myself and Mike from Vinny Outdoors. We've got a collaboration going on tonight with people from the American Angler Outdoors Network. We've got Al in the green room. Hopefully, some of the other guys will join us. So let's get this thing kicked off, Mike. All right, welcome back. So we're gonna go ahead and get Al up in here and see if we can get anybody else. Got Scott in here. Scott, evening, brother.
I don't honestly,
God, how you
Scott,
doing?
I don't know how you podcast the way you podcast, dude. You were up till midnight watching mains, and then you're up to midnight watching mine, and then you're probably over watching Wendell's on Wednesdays.
Yeah. So
these guys are dedicated to the podcast world, man.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got Roy from USA Kayak Fishing Magazine. What's up?
Hey, Roy.
Yeah.
So how's Daniel? You said you've been sending some stuff to Roy. How's that been working?
I have. It's working out great. Actually, on the number 3 article right now.
Cool.
So I think it's supposed to drop in. Hopefully, what's today? May?
Yeah.
May.
May 2nd.
Yeah.
Beginning of May.
Yeah. I think
it
drops in May. I think it drops later in May. But he'll tell us in the chat.
All right.
June 1st.
Cool.
June 1st.
June 1st, he said.
June 1st.
That's great. So, I was thinking about doing I did that road trip show the other week down in, I'm not even going to mention the name. It's just outside of Raleigh. It's Farguay Varna. I forget. I can't say it. And I did the road trip show. That was a kayak tournament on a private pond. So I had a great time down there. That was with Warrior Fishing. So that was real good. I had a good time. But yeah, you guys wanted to talk tonight. We wanted to bring some other content creators, some other channels on about the network. Mike and I, we talk a lot about it. I know that. We're always chatting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I think we're.
What's up?
We all just got a message. That's why we paused. We apologize.
We all saw the same message. I forgot about that.
we got a group chat. We all just literally stopped talking and looked down at our phones at the same time.
All right, Michael can read them to us.
Yeah,
that was entertaining.
Yeah, but yeah, it's I think overall the network's doing well, Al, and I don't know what the numbers look like as far as downloads. You can tell us all that. And
they're good.
And what the how the networks are doing as far as the shows when you go to these trade shows and everything, what the response of people are about the network and things like that. So tell us about the trade shows that you've recently gone to and how people have kind of inquired about it.
All right. Well, yeah, we've gone to a number of trade shows. The 2 biggest ones we did so this year were Fishersville, and we did the Augusta County Bass. I've been doing that trade show with my other company for a long time. Great group of guys. And then we did the in Greenville, we did the Mid-Atlantic Hunting and Fishing Expo. The response was fantastic. I remember I told Mike, I think it was Fishersville, one of his videos, a bunch of kids stood there and stared. They loved the trailer, the way he had everything set up, and then there was John and Rob over at JCX Fishing. whenever their women in fishing shows came on, people would stop and look. They really enjoyed it. But we did good. We had a great response. We picked up a lot of new people after the shows. The days following the shows, we picked up some some new people. We picked up a lot of new channels from both shows,
We
both
have a
big
lot of
shows.
channels now. It's crazy how many we have.
Yeah, and it's great. Um, I think the biggest part about the shows was getting out there, and what made me feel good. One kid came up to me and said, "I watch your show all the time," and he wanted a picture. That
That's
made me
cool.
feel good. And how many people just came up to me and showed me their cell phone with the network on it? you know,
Yeah, that's
it
cool.
was great.
Yep.
We're doing good. The shows are up and down. Um, I got to get in there and switch the shows around. I'm going to take some of them and take some of the older shows off and put some of the newer ones on, and then maybe bounce around with some shows from last season. Throw them back on for a couple of weeks
Yep.
so that the channels keep mixing the shows up.
Right.
Um, as far as the numbers, the downloads are getting up there. Roku, of course, is our biggest download, is Roku.
Yep.
And then Fire TV is starting to pick up. iOS is picking up. Android kind of stalled out. But
Yeah.
there's only a few people left on Android, Mike.
Mike.
Yeah.
Mike's one of them Android users.
I mean, I hate to tell you guys, but Apple's being sued for purposely tanking phones, so you have to buy a new one. So you might want to think about switching soon.
I don't know. I kind of like my Apple. It's works nice for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Android owners
That's
don't
funny.
fish.
That's funny. So I will say what I have noticed, Al, which is interesting, is since you really once we started going full out on the Roku stuff, on my YouTube analytics, I'm getting views from TVs now that I never got before.
Right.
So I think some of that's even translating over to YouTube because people weren't watching so Bear, the live stream I was doing last night, it's actually really funny. The guy I brought on before Cody came on, my teammate in Slay Nation, he went upstairs after I kicked him off the live to bring Cody in, and his parents were watching my live stream on the TV in the living room. Like, he had no idea they even watched my channel, and he's like, "This is what I came upstairs to," and they were literally watching the live stream on the TV upstairs.
That's good.
So I mean, it's definitely translating, across both ways, so
Right.
which is really cool.
It is, and we're seeing a lot more when the internet is our website, taao.live, is
Yeah.
picking up a lot more. We're noticing more there. We also, people can go to Southeast Georgia's page or Binya page or anyone's
Yep.
page on the website and see all the videos right there on demand.
Yep.
Just click video and watch it. And I really think that's helping a lot of us out.
Yep.
I've noticed just on the American Angler Outdoors YouTube page, in the last couple of weeks, I've almost doubled the views on some of our videos.
Yep.
Right.
We have a video, have a little short video, how to create a team on Tourney X.
Yeah.
I went from 20 views 2 weeks ago to 47 today.
Yep.
So, hey, Brian's going to join us on the show here. Let me get him out the back room here.
All right.
I'm about to add him here. How you doing, Brian? Can you hear us?
Can't hear him.
It says he's muted.
There you go. I got
There you go, Brian.
Sorry about that.
Hey, no problem.
Hey,
Welcome
Brian.
to the show.
What's
All right,
happening,
how's Smith
everybody?
Mountain?
Yep.
How's Smith Mountain Lake doing?
Dude, guys, I ain't gonna lie, it was rough today. I mean, we it was rough. We were, guys, the Big Bass Tours up here, 2024, and they're only having one this year in the spring. And a lot of the guys were saying 8 and 9 pound bass are going to show up, but I mean, it's 1/6 is leading right now, day number one. So I mean, a lot of 3-pounders weighed in today, a whole lot of 3-pounders.
So what's the big bass of the tournament so far?
I think the thing was like a 662.
Okay.
What was it? Did they tell you what it was caught on up there?
Yeah, I think I'll be honest. I ain't gonna lie, you guys. The video's up on the basscast.com because we record a lot of videos today. So it's a big media blitz for the Basscast, and this. If you guys ever get a chance to go to one of these or see one of these, I mean, we're talking about anglers from states away. I mean, I've heard of anglers because the Big Bass Tour, they pay every hour on the hour, and there's so many people that fish this just like a regular tour, and they travel with it. New York, Tennessee, West Virginia. I mean, I think last year the guy was from West Virginia that ended up winning it. Now West Virginia doesn't have any bodies of water, so they all come over here, but that's beside the point.
Oh yeah.
How many boats they have this year so far?
Well, the Big Bass Tour is not done by boats, so they had they do it by
anglers.
angler. Yeah, because you're allowed up to 3 anglers on the boat at one time. And I want to say they say it'd probably be up about 900 because they still have people registering for the weekend. Everybody's waiting on a weekend here because it's a chance of rain, and as of right now we're hearing rain in the after nighttime, Saturday night to Sunday morning, which ain't gonna affect the fishing at all, but it could be a miserable day out on the water for 9 hours, 8 hours.
Oh yeah.
Because you launch at 6 and the final weigh-ins at the final hours between 2 and 3 o'clock.
I was down there a few years ago for it, and I'll tell you what, you get to that 45-minute mark, and it's like, don't stand between the stage and the dock.
No, they are
knocked over.
Yeah, that 45. Yeah, the last 15 minutes
15
of the
minutes.
hour,
and everybody's standing there with their bass, like, they see a 6.5 go up, and you see half the people just take off and leave because they got nothing bigger.
I mean, like I said, really cool thing about this is, like I said, they pay 10 spots every hour, and it starts at $1,000 and works its way down. So I mean,
That's crazy.
Even if
Yeah,
it's a whole lot of. I mean, like I said, would you not want to fish a bass fishing tour where you knew you had the opportunity to get paid? What is it? Most of them last for about ours this year is 4 days because we're only having one. But if it's 3 days and it's 7 weigh-ins, 21 times you get a chance to weigh fish and cash a check.
Yep.
Golly.
Yeah. And it's great. It's a good tournament. They do, and the guys that run it are fantastic. They put on a great show. There's a lot going on during the day.
Yeah, it's really cool, the strategy. Like you were talking about Alvin earlier. That's really cool because you keep 3 fish in your live well all day long. I mean, so you can go on the internet now, and see what's leading for that hour. Do you have a chance to cash a check? Should you make a long run? Should you stay close? And a lot of guys will come in and weigh a 4-pounder, and then they'll say, well, heck, I got a 3.5, and 3.5's been getting a check, so I'm just going to stay right here and weigh that one before I waste gas to go back to where they were. So the strategy, the payout, it's a win-win. I mean,
it is.
Come fish it.
So they're paying back 10 spots per hour, right, Brian?
Yes, sir.
And it's 7.
There's 800 to 900 anglers fishing this thing.
That's 70 checks a day they're cutting.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
So that's why, during COVID, they started sending
Yeah.
everybody checks. Can you only imagine when you get to the next mailbox, dropping all that in the mail?
I think I'd have
For
to.
that, the post office picks them up. They'll
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
it for you.
Yeah, we're talking about a whole lot of checks. And, gosh, I mean, people understand, about this, you got to fill out W-2. I mean, what is it, the 1099 form or whatever it is. And
Yep.
it's so much work. People understand that, that the anglers, a lot of the anglers don't really understand that part of it, that there's that much work that goes into this thing, because forms got to be filled out. Forms got to be taken to, taxes and, payouts, and it's a whole lot to run in this series. And they probably have about 10 different stops a year.
They do. And they go all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, they hit just about every region out there. So you're never more, at least once a year, you're not more than a couple of hours from a tournament.
That's true. Because they had one on Tennessee. They have one down in North Carolina. So I mean, there definitely is a lot of different. I mean, right here. I mean, I know a lot of guys last year went and fished at one. I think it's Douglas Lake in Tennessee is where they fished that one.
That's a beautiful lake.
Yeah.
Right
Mhm.
time of the year, that is a beautiful place.
That's a lot of fish getting beat up.
Yeah. I say, I
Yeah,
bet
we
they're not
don't.
2 hours for
Yeah,
me, but
yeah.
So
I don't want to.
let me ask you, Brian. Do they have a catch boat where
Yes.
the fish are taken to the catch boat and then they're released away from the boat ramp?
So the cool thing, well, no, yes and no. The cool thing here is during this event, the Virginia Game and Fish are here. So there are biologists here the whole entire event, and they're checking
they're
fish, the
checking
big
them.
fish and all like that. They're checking them, checking the health of the lake, which is really cool. And then they do dump them into a tank, and they dump them right back into Smith Mountain Lake. They don't go anywhere. At least the first day, they dump them right at Crazy Horse Marina, which that's one of them things where we've actually spoke about a lot. Like, why don't they take them to a different marina and then dump them?
Right.
But no, they're dumped right back into Crazy Horse. But I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
yeah.
Crazy
So
Horse is big.
yeah, the location's very big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean but I mean, somebody got a chance tomorrow catch an ABC fish.
So with the biologist there on site, so are they taking measurements? Or are they taking scales off the fish to see how old the
Yeah.
fish is
Yep.
compared to the weight?
Yep.
Things
That's
like
what they're
that.
doing. Plus,
Kind of genetics.
yes, sir. Plus, you
Okay.
guys, for you guys that don't know, oh gosh, it's been over 10 years ago. We introduced tiger bass into Smith Mountain Lake. So yeah, they're getting the thread fin samples. They got the weight, the measurements, and just checking them out and seeing if they are tiger bass or not. So yeah, they're here the whole entire time and taking care of the fish, and that's the main thing.
Let me ask you a question. Why they introduced tiger bass into the fishery?
For events like this,
Well,
Smith
it's a
Mountain
big
Lake.
fish.
Tiger bass
Yeah.
grow so quick. Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So
Smith Mountain Lake's always been known. When this lake was first built, it was mainly known for striper fishing. I mean, people came far and wide, catch big old stripers, and then we got the largemouth bass, we got the smallmouth bass here, and we've had a lot of great. I mean, I was at a tournament a few years ago, and it was 25 pounds of smallmouth weighed in, 5 fish. So I mean,
Yeah.
and so, like I said, it was a community probably of about 4 or 5 different anglers introduced tiger bass into the lake. They did everything, and now the Game and Fish takes care of a lot of that. They've done it the last couple of years. Because I mean, at any lake, I mean, we're lucky here. If you guys go further down to Gaston or down to Kerr Lake, the spots have been introduced, and they're trying to get rid of them bad boys. And I've been told the tiger bass are going to go in there in the next couple of years, at least Lake Gaston, because they're definitely trying to get rid of some of the spots.
Yeah, spotted bass are
Yes,
I hate them. It destroys a fishery.
it
If you
does.
look at if you look at Lake Lanier here in Georgia, where I'm from, that's a lake that's known for spotted bass. It ruined the largemouth bass population in that lake years and years and years ago. And with the Savannah River chain lakes, you're talking about
Mhm.
Hartwell,
Yep.
Russell, and then Clark's Hill, and then you come on down the Savannah River to Savannah Way is, hopefully the Savannah. I probably know that the Savannah River has them in there, but I'm hoping it doesn't, because the Savannah River is known for largemouth bass fishery here in Georgia. So,
And like you said there, I mean, I think that was one of the reasons why they introduced the tiger bass into it, to try to, not have that issue. Let's get ahead of it, and hopefully the tiger bass will devour a bunch of spots, or any spots are in here. Luckily, we don't have the spots. So, like I said, Lake Gaston, Kerr Lakes, Kerr Lake is starting to see a lot of spots. I know last year during the Bassmaster Open that was on Kerr Lake, a lot of the guys were catching a lot of spots. So, I mean, spots are good. They kids love to catch them. They're fun. You'll go catch a crap load of them, but you're not going to have any weight,
no,
especially around here.
right. What's the
And a
average
lot of
spot up there? About 3 pounds?
Nah, even smaller than that. Probably like 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Brian said, they're great for the kids.
Yeah. Especially if you get into school level, if they're schooling, you got kids in the boat, man. You throw a spook up there, man. You're gonna.
Oh
Just
yeah,
sit back and watch the kids have a good time.
That's right.
that's
So
100% right.
yeah, for people just joining in, this is the American Angler Outdoors collaboration content, people. Al is the owner of the channel. If everybody don't know, Al is the owner of the American Angler Outdoors Network. You got Benya, Mike Hanson down below, and then you got Brian Carter with the Bass Cast.
Trying to recruit more of the guys to come in here, but
Yeah. So
Finally,
we're
something
just,
Mike can do.
Yeah.
we're just hanging out tonight and just hoping some people get over to the American Outdoors network.
Try to get
You can download it on your cell phone. You can download it on Roku. I'll tell you where else can take it off, Al, and tell them where they can find it at besides your cell phone.
yeah, you can find it on Roku, Fire TV, iOS, Android. Just download on Roku, Android, and iOS. It's the American Angler Outdoors. On Fire TV, you got to go to Amazon, type in the American Angler Outdoors app in order to download it. And you can also just go to taao.live and see us there. Yeah, that's another thing. When we started talking at the beginning, if you go there, I got to update it. I haven't had a chance to really update it. We've changed the main page so that it shows upcoming shows and the actual links.
That's awesome.
So if anybody's up there right now, they can click on the link for this show and watch it. I'll get that updated tomorrow, and I want to be able to show all the content that you guys are doing, and I want to show what it's coming up live. I want people to get used to going to taao.live and saying, okay, what do we got? Oh, May 7th. Oh, JCX Fish, Co-Angler Corner got this coming up, or Daniel's got this coming up in Southeast Georgia. Brian's got this coming up. Ted, whoever, and this way it helps not just us, but then they'll say, hey, let me go check out the network, see what they got on their channel. Plus, it helps you guys with your YouTube. We all want to build up that YouTube subscription.
You're gonna hate me this month.
So
You probably
hopefully
shouldn't try
will
to keep up with my videos, because I have videos like every 3 days for the next 2 months. So
Wow.
you're not gonna like it.
I'm going to be getting out there as much as I can.
I cheated and saved some videos from last year, and I loaded because May is really so. For those of you who don't know how the content world works, from about December to about April, YouTube just completely ignores fishing YouTube channels. They just don't give
Yep.
a shit about them, and all of our like graphs they go like this in May, and then around December they just go like this,
I guess we'll have
and
to
they
start
just
unboxing toys.
Yeah, they stopped sharing our stuff, but then all of a sudden, right around the beginning of May, right around Mother's Day, all of a sudden that YouTube stuff starts going like that, and that's why I started loading my videos up in May. So I have literally a video like every 3 days this month, and I've got
Hey,
some I haven't even put up yet.
I'll be honest. I understand you guys talking about YouTube, and I'm not huge on YouTube. We just upload some of our content to YouTube, but even me being the basscast.com, our numbers really don't start until May. I mean, we've been kind of flat until about a week ago, and it's really started taking off. So, I mean,
it's a season. I think what it is, dude, honestly, is the northern half of this country.
Yeah.
A lot of people just forget about fishing and they
Yeah.
transition to football, they transition to other stuff. And then when spring hits and now they can start fishing, and a lot of places, like here in Vermont, we don't have a true season. What we have is catch and release season, and you can keep and eat season. So there's not really a bass season. I can go fish anytime I want. I just can't kill the bass. So we don't really think about it that way. But there's some states, like I know upstate New York, like on the Canadian border, like the St. Lawrence, they can't target bass till June. They can't even fish for them. If they get caught catching bass, they get caught. They get yelled. They're fined.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's why
so
you
New
see.
York does have a season to catch.
Mm-hmm.
They do have a season. And that's why
Canada
I'm glad
too.
I'm no longer there.
That's why my boy Bear Fishing comes down from Canada, because they can't target smallmouth up there until June.
Luckily, I'm here in Georgia. I don't have no seasons except hunting seasons.
Yeah,
that's all.
And Brian and I are in Virginia, and Virginia, North Carolina.
Oh God.
Brian will, if you're not watching the Basscast, if you're not part of that, I've said it before. I always tell everybody, you get their magazine, their online, basscast.com. If you love fishing, I don't care if it's a small pond or a big lake, they're going to tell a story about it.
Oh yeah.
From the pros to the amateurs, it's your one-stop shop to find out what's going on about bass fishing. But Brian, down here in Virginia, North Carolina, I guarantee you can find a tournament 52 weekends a year.
Guys, this ain't no lie. I could jerk the scales out every day on weekend. I would never have a life if because we have winter series is here, summer. I think the next week or two we're getting ready to fire up the night tournaments. There'll be a Tuesday nighter, a Friday nighter. I think it's like a Thursday. I don't know. It's 24/7. If you guys, I mean, and they love throwing their money away up here on Smith Mountain Lake. Put a few bonuses with it. I mean, these guys, I mean, it's like, let's just make it rain on this lake. I ain't lying. I mean, it's like, I want a gold pot, I want a silver pot, and I want a bronze pot. Give me another way to throw my money away. I mean, just, but the boys catch them.
It's like that on Lake Anna. It's like that on the Potomac. The Potomac River, you can almost from, I say, the 1st of April till the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, there's a tournament virtually every day on that river.
Shoot,
Either
I've had
a
them the
day
day
or an
before
evening
Thanksgiving.
tournament.
Hell, they have them Christmas Day here.
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah.
So Al, we got a question from Roy with USA Kayak Fishing Magazine. What's the
I saw
requirements for being a network partner?
It
all that
depends on
guy.
what.
This guy over here.
I didn't have my. I
Fuck the
usually
hip.
mirror my camera, so it's not actually the right
Fuck
angle.
the hip. Roy, it's really simple. Depending on what you want, as a partner.
Now it's that
If
way.
you want to have your own channel, it's free. We don't charge for the channel. So your magazine could have its own TV channel. If you want to have a show, you send us an edited show, 30 minutes, an hour long every week. We'll put it up. If you want to be a sponsor, you want to put advertising, We have several programs. We start as little as $50 a month, and you get a 30-second, 30-second commercials, and we'll add them to the network constantly. They'll play 24/7, and then it goes up to a title sponsor, which you would have. It would be the American Angler Outdoors Network presented by, and then the title sponsor, and you would get a lot from it. I trust me, a lot, and it wouldn't cost that much. We're not. I'm not in this for the money. I'm in this because I enjoy the sport and I want to give back, and this is how I do it. As long as I can cover the monthly bills, I'm happy, you know. And I got a little extra money to go out and do my show and have a good time. It's all I'm looking for. And I got a great group. I got Daniel and Mike have been with me for a long time. So Mike's been with me since almost the beginning.
So it was just a
Daniel's
crazy
been here
idea
just as
in
long.
theory.
Brian and I have known each other for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
And when you add John and Rob from JCX and Ted and Anthony Horton, who's not on tonight, but he's a new member of the team. Anthony and I have known each other for a long time. We've done a lot of trade shows together. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's real
guys.
easy to become a partner depending on what you want.
Guys, Roy, I know Roy. Me and Roy hooked up a while back. Dude, you want to talk about an online magazine? Roy's got an amazing kayak magazine. I mean, that thing is like, it's awesome. If anybody's seen it, and I think he's doing it quarterly right now, but it's there you go. There it is. Cover right there. Cover. It is an awesome magazine. I mean, it looks good.
Yeah,
I wish he could do it more. I mean, because I love reading it.
Yeah.
So I contribute to him, Brian.
Okay.
I write articles to him. And,
Awesome.
And the network was started, and Michael can. We originally started this as a network for kayak because the kayak organization is growing. So we felt, let's give the kayak clubs and teams and anglers a place to show their stuff, because the big bass boats, they have everything you can ask for.
Oh yeah.
They have network. Well, now the kayakers have a network, as far as I'm concerned.
That's awesome.
We all have a network that we can get out there and show our channels, show our TV shows, and that's what we want to do. Another thing we wanted to touch base with was we want to turn the TAAO channel, that's our main channel, back to what Michael and I and Daniel and I originally started: regular 30-minute shows. A prime time, 7 to 11. That's prime time. So Brian would have his show every Monday night at 8 o'clock, would be an episode. And if he didn't have a new episode, we just do a rerun. But I want to get into that time period. So you can go to TAL.live, click on TV guide, and say, okay, okay, Mike's got a new show on Thursday night. Daniel's got a new show, and you can
That's
see
awesome.
what's new, what's a repeat, and what the show's about, and that's what we really want to get to. That's where I'd like to get the main channel. And then all the other channels, we keep flipping through. The goal right now is to have about 26 hours of programming per channel. Once we get to that 26 hours, as we bring in new programming, we eliminate the old. But what's nice is with 24 hours a day, 26 will drop a few hours every day. So the chances of this show airing tonight at 8 and then airing again in a week at 8 o'clock at night are very slim.
One thing.
So this way, people that can only tune in at 7 o'clock at night, they should have a good chance to see different shows every time they tune in. So yeah,
Awesome.
that's where we'd like to be. But it takes time.
Hey, you'll get there.
Yeah, you'll get there.
Brian,
Yeah.
Brian, look at Brian. Look at how big Basscast has gotten in the last few years.
Gosh,
I can remember when Brian was like, "Man, I can't wait till we hit 1,000."
gosh, you guys want to talk about it? I mean, the basscast.com, the website itself, COVID hit and everybody started fishing and everybody started getting outdoors. And it was a year later that we just exploded. I mean, we're blessed. I mean, because guys, bass fishing's not an overnight success. I don't care what you talk about. Now, some of these young kids, now we got forward facing sonar, a little extra for the pros and for the kids, but you know, being a media company in the world of bass fishing, if you ain't willing to stick with it, you're not gonna make it.
Yeah.
No, and it
No,
takes
it's definitely
time.
a grind.
Definitely a grind. So yeah,
So
there
here
you
you go,
go.
Brian. There you go.
There it
So
is.
talk,
And
so talk about it a little bit.
All right, guys. So across the top, like he's showing right there, across the very top, guys, is the latest stories. Is some of the links, and then underneath that is the latest stories that we've uploaded here at the basscast.com. And then throughout that right there is some of the top trending stories that you'll see on the Basscast. As you guys see there in the photo, that's our boy Martin Vila from up in Charlottesville, Virginia, who won day Group B of Major League Fishing yesterday. And I got content waiting to go up now. But if you scroll on down, keep on going past some sponsors. All right, there's a calendar. If you go back up, scroll back up a little bit real quick. Keep going. All right, I want to talk about that calendar on the left-hand side, guys. You just blew past it. The calendar. We have the largest calendar for anglers to know where to go fish. I mean, our calendar gets blown up because, like I told you guys, people want to fish here on Smith Mount Lake, Bugs Island, Kerr Lake, and we have schedules. I mean, it takes me a week at about 5 or 6 hours a day, because that's all I can stand, to put the schedules on the website. And then you have a link to Basscast Radio. And the basscast.com, we do have our own tournament series that we've been running now for probably close to 10 years on Smith Mount Lake. And it's just a way for us to be engaged and kind of keep with us. I ain't gonna say anglers are smart, don't get me wrong, smartest guys I ever met. But and with any business, it pays. I mean, that's why you guys see ads run, TV ads. I don't make any money off of it. But that one guy, let's say you run an ad for a plumbing business. Ain't nobody seeing it, but that one guy sees it, calls you, and does a $4,000 job for somebody, pays for the daggone thing. And we run a tournament series because we believe that we want to stay in the face of the anglers, so that way they don't forget about the basscast.com. So go ahead and scroll down. All right, so what I've done is, as you guys see there, it says what's new in Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. That's the main 3 states that basscast.com covers. And I kind of broke it up that way. That way you can kind of see what is the latest post or news from that area. And then I think if you go a little further down, I'm going to drop the lettered editor so we can scroll past that. Keep on going. So this contributors. This is a part right here Alvin was talking about earlier about stories and content. Right now, it's just me and Bruce writing stories. We are looking for content providers. I had 2 that left me right here at the beginning of the year that got full-time jobs. And, hey, they both have families, and I understand that 100%. But this is where you can find original content from the Basscast. So if you want to scroll down a little bit more. All right, so then we have some product, which is all cool. But right here where you stopped, go ahead, you stay there. Right there, guys, that is, lake reports. And that is something, I ain't lying, man. If you are a guide and you're not on the basscast.com, you're crazy. We're talking about thousands of people read our lake reports each and every month. And if you're a guide and want to get business, if you're happy the way your guide business is now, and you don't want to take the time to write I mean, a 10-minute little write-up letter about what the bass, what the stripers. I mean, we'll put the whole thing on the website are doing. We have Smith Mountain Lake covered. We have Lake Gas. No, we have Lake Anna, and I gotta get that. And we have Kerr Lake. So we got 3 lakes covered, but there are a lot more lakes, North Carolina, South Carolina lakes. So we'd love to be a part of our lake reports. Because like I said, I mean, the guys want to know what's happening on the lake before they go. So
That's it.
that's it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I before I fish a lake, that's where I go is a lake report to see the last couple months of.
Yeah. I mean, that's
things.
that's you want to see the trend of what's happening. If the very top of the website, there's a weather report 24 hours, 7 days a week. This is our newest thing. Keep on there you go. It says Lake 24, Lake very top. There it is.
Yeah,
This
I
right
just
here,
clicked on the
guys.
link.
Yeah, this guy's right here is on Smith Mountain Lake. And well, that's at my house. But if you scroll down a little bit further, this is right here. This is the current water level on Smith Mountain Lake. This is the current temperatures on Smith Mountain Lake. And these are points that are put out, I think it's 5 or 6 different locations on Smith Mountain Lake, where this is the current water temperature right now. Right now, it's up there on it. And then if you, and it shows you trends, like you're talking about lake reports, going back and looking at trends. This is the trend for like the last couple of days of what's been happening. I mean, like I said, we all know it's going up. It's been 80 some degrees here the last week.
Yeah.
But I think if you scroll down a little bit further,
My water at 74. My fish will probably die.
yeah, come on now.
I'm
That
in
wasn't Mike in
Vermont.
the live well.
My water temp's right here, freaking 42.
And then that'll show you right there where the gauges are located, and it shows you which part of the lake that they're located. And then a little bit further down, right there, we have a 24-hour, 7-day weather map, and you can click that, and it will show you just like weather, any other weather that you have watching local. You just hit a button, and it plays for about 5 days, and you can zoom in, zoom out, and go to a different location. It doesn't matter, but it tells you what's going to happen the next couple of days right here on Smith Mountain Lake or any other. I mean, it's just a generic weather map that I embedded into the website because weather does. I mean, we all know that weather plays a major role in bass fishing. The moon phase, some of that does,
Yeah.
but the weather, I mean, it's probably your biggest key. And I'm done. That's the Basscast, everybody.
Yeah. And I've worked with Brian. Like I said, I've known Brian for a long time, and I've also known Bruce for a long time. And Bruce puts together some of the greatest articles you'd ever want to read. If you go over to basscast.com, check out Bruce's articles, especially the last few. Forward facing sonar, his big article on co-anglers. I think that was a very insightful article.
I'm pushing Bruce, guys. I'm pushing him. You know, Bruce is a great writer, and I've kind of had to push him here and push him there, but he's getting where we want it because I ain't gonna say we want to keep the anglers stirred up or nothing like that, which a lot of stuff has here lately. But I mean, that thing on the co-angler thing, it blew up. That's probably his biggest story he's ever written on the basscast.com because it is a big push button right now. I mean, why you want to fish in the back of the boat? You ain't got forward facing sonar.
Yeah,
but
it is, and like Bruce said, in the article, it's getting harder and harder for a co-angler to justify being on the back of that boat. Well, why do I want to spend all that time and money to be on the back of a boat?
Look, dealing with forward facing someone, I hate to bring up this topic on here, but
no, we don't want to bring it up.
Yeah, but I'm just going to make this comment, Brian. Is if I was a co-angler and I was fishing on a boat with a man that's using his forward facing sonar, he's catching fish, and I'm not catching any fish, I just tell him take me to the damn hill.
Yeah.
Just take me.
Oh.
Let me go home.
You know,
Yeah,
I
I'm
understand
the
that right
asshole
there.
that would just push him out of the way and look at the screen and then go back to the back of the boat.
Hey, I gotta get ready to run here in a few minutes because I got some work to do before we crash because tomorrow's day 2 of the Big Bass Tour. We got to be up, but you know, I like what you're saying there, and you know, in these major league fishing events, the whoever you draw is going to be the really killer. And if you draw someone who's really freaking cool, you might be able to learn something from while you out there, because that's the whole thing about being a co-angler. You know, you're starting in the
Yeah.
back of a boat, hoping you're going to be on the front of the boat pretty soon. But on top of that, if you guys haven't, you guys probably all have seen, we got a lot of local tournament trails this year, especially and also the ABA, American Bass Angler Association, who have gone to one boater on the boat, one person on the boat, the boater. That's it.
Wow.
And Cat did it. Carolina English Team Tournament Trail, they did it. They're going to be doing it up here, I think, in the fall. They're going to have one of those tournament series as well up here in the fall. So, I mean, is it really the death of the co-angler? We hope not, because a lot of, a lot of guys, that's how they got the start.
Yeah, it is. And I don't think it's going to kill the co-angler.
No.
What it's going to do is a lot of co-anglers can't afford that $20,000 bass boat to get out there.
Right.
But they can afford that $5,000 kayak. So it may prove a little detrimental to the big boats, but it's going to be a positive for kayak fishing. But I agree with Brian. A co-angler was really, to me, it was like you were on the baseball field, the pro was up front, and the minor league player was in the back of the boat. And you were learning from the major league player, It was a learning curve. Whenever I fished as a co-angler, it was
Always
a
pushing
learning
that new
curve
canoe.
for me. And I enjoyed it. I always sat back at the end of the day. If I learned one thing, it didn't matter what I caught, where I finished, it was a positive.
Right.
And I think the problem is a lot of co-anglers have gotten into this and said, hey, I got to make money. I'm going to be the pro co-angler. No, just be a co-angler.
And,
eventually you'll work up.
Yes. And I'm going to finish with this, and then I'm going to roll. But you're right. But what's going to happen is the entry fee keeps increasing and increasing, and to where it's become now, it's like you just said, why would I waste that type of money?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you guys look, I think, was it a couple years ago when Major League Fishing took over, or was it before Major League Fishing, FLW? They raised all their fees. Even co-angler fees went up, and then they found out that wasn't the way to go, and then they dropped them back down again. So they had I can't remember if it was under FLW or if it was under Major League Fishing, but had a few years there they were tweaking numbers to try to get that happy point for their anglers. So
I can tell you for the FLW is back in the day when I was coming out of high school, that's when that thing started still getting developed, and that's when Walmart was the main.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah,
with Walmart was the main sponsor of it, and I began working for Walmart and got hooked up into the FLW as a co-angler to begin with, and I think it was like $75 to $100 for a co-angler to fish in that thing.
Yeah,
and
now you can't even get a kayak tournament.
Yeah,
yeah,
you ain't fishing the Bass Cast tournament for that no more. I mean, heck, I'm $100, and that's on the low end. I mean, the average. I think the average entry fee. Oh yeah, I see it. The average entry fee is $140 now just for a local tournament.
Yeah.
Yep. The shirt in the middle, Daniel. That's from back then. Top Walmart Bass Fishing League. And then that's an old
awesome.
shirt. Stren series.
Oh yeah, the old Stren series. Guys, I appreciate you having me on. Thank you for sending me the link. I really, really do. And anytime, love to be on.
Yeah, man. Hey, thank you, Brian, for joining us.
Yeah.
And,
Right. Take
Y'all
care.
stay
of
safe
Smith
up there
Mountain.
on the lake up there, and hopefully some bigs will be caught this weekend.
Let's hope and pray.
Yeah, man.
See you guys.
See you.
Yeah. All right.
Wow, I can't imagine fishing a tournament with that many people. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I've been there, and yeah, I've been at Crazy Horse on Smith Mountain Lake during one of their tournaments. It's not like all 900 people are there at one time. You know, you don't have to. You only have to go there the way you're fishing. You can put in anywhere, so it's not like you have to start there and finish the day there.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
it's just not one ramp.
No, you can put in
Okay.
anywhere. You just have to come back there to weigh that hourly fishing.
Oh, wow.
And
Golly.
Crazy Horse is a huge marina. The area, if they're still using the same area, the beach area, they have a lot of room, and they could probably put a lot. Yeah, they could put a good number of boats if they had
I
to.
wouldn't want to be a traffic cop for that, though. I can't imagine all the boats flying in there
Oh,
on the
Lord.
hour to try to get their fish
Yeah.
loaded.
Oh, yeah. That'd be crazy.
And they got a good weekend. If they did this in June or July, there's no way you're going to get,
No.
even 900 guys at 3 guys to a boat. You're still looking at a good 300 boats on that lake. No, not with the pleasure
Well,
boaters.
The Georgia high school, they started their bass series a couple years back, but in one of their tournaments, high school anglers, there was 245 boats on one lake
In a high school tournament?
in a high school tournament.
That's
I was
crazy.
at Clarks Hill Lake a few years ago for a Fishers of Men championship, and we had a lot of boats out there.
Yeah, they the day that we held that last weekend when I fished up there, I think they had 4 boat tournaments going on. And then then by 11 o'clock, you had all the pleasure boaters and the jet skis. So I'm like, 2 o'clock rolled around. I caught my last fish at 2 o'clock or right before 2. And I was like, these people were running up in this creek I was fishing, just pleasure boaters. I'm like, this is a dead end. There's nothing up here.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what I like about Vermont is they won't hold more than one tournament in an area. Now, Champlain is a little bit of a different exception because you have, ramps that are 20 miles apart, so you can kind of get away with it, but they won't. What sucks in Vermont is you have to get a permit up to 60 days in advance that you pay for, and then you have to submit every single fish that was submitted to them. You have to document them and send them all the information, and it is insane the amount of paperwork that goes into just freaking hosting a tournament. So, and then they only allow you to have the capacity of the ramp, and the ramps here, you're talking like even the one at Champlain Bridge, Crown Point, which is pretty well known around here, is like 15 boats. Like, unless you go to like Plattsburgh or Ticonderoga, you're not having one of them big boy tournaments because there's not enough ramps.
Right.
Yeah, we have like if you go to the Potomac River, you have Smallwood State Park on the Maryland side, one of the larger state parks where a lot of tournaments go out of. Then right around from that, I forget the name of that, but there's another ramp that they have tournaments coming out of. Then you go upriver a few miles, you got Fort Washington. Just past that, you got 2 more marinas. Then you jump over to the Virginia side. Right across from Smallwood is Lee Sylvania State Park, which is just as big as as Smallwood. And then you got all the other Aquia Harbor and between the Wilson Bridge and the Harry Nice Bridge in that strip, you got about 20 ramps that are hosting tournaments on weekends.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
it is.
That's why I like the kayak world, man. Even if you got, we had, what was it like? I think it's like 8 teams we had in ours, but it's 8 teams. There's some John boats, so some of that's one vessel basically.
Yeah.
But even that, dude, the boat ramp, I got pinned in. Like I actually had to have a guy stand behind me because some lovely individual with a skeeter trailer pulled right up to the back of my kayak trailer, pinned me between the tree and the place I was parked. So I had to like do a 17-point turnaround to get my trailer out of the spot. I had to basically unparalleled park a trailer to get my kayak out. Like that's the only thing that sucks about around here, dude, is that a lot of our ramps are they're not big ramps. They're not all of the way our ramps work is it's like the state bought the one little tiny piece of land that no one wanted, and then they turned it into a state park and then made that a ramp. So it's like 10 boats, 15 boats max. And you're talking, you got to be creative to fit 15 boats in some of these ramps. Like,
yeah, it's go ahead, Al.
That's why I like these what Tourney X has done with
the
this
kayak world
online
makes it
format.
easier.
Yeah.
It makes it so much easier. You could pick a lake and say, okay, we're all fishing Clark's Hill Lake, but you could put in where you want.
Yep.
But the big park at Clark Hill Lake, where the power lines come over,
You're probably talking about Wildwood.
yeah, that park there. We're all going to meet there at 4:00 for the weigh-in. You know, and I like that. It does allow people a chance to get out there and not be on top of each other. And for kayaks, it lets you get closer to where you want to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to make it a 45-minute run, you know.
Yeah. So how I do my live tournaments is, so I allow them to launch anywhere on the lake from a public ramp, but I try to find a local bait shop to hold the award ceremony.
And that's
That's a
great.
good idea.
And that way, you know, kind of give back to the people that were fishing near, more or less. So
I'm reading what magazine wrote.
oh yeah, he said I've got to read it out, Al, because I download this to Spotify. So it says if I do well creating media for Heroes on the Water, I wouldn't mind shooting a show. So
Which chapter is he doing it for? Well, I can just ask him, which chapter are you doing it for? Because I'm going to be with Heroes on the Water this weekend, Lake Anna, the Fredericksburg chapter, doing a show. I normally I would wear the shirt, but I have a shirt from Tidewater chapter.
So he said he's doing it
National chapter. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, they're a
Yeah,
great organization. Heroes on the Water, Warrior Fishing.
Yeah.
I mean, these are some great organizations. And I love I'm getting, like Mike said, I'm getting back into filming, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, he says the Tidewater chapter for national.
Okay, yeah, Tidewater, great group of guys. Great guys. Army Navy game this past fall. I went down to Williamsburg, and I was hanging out, of course, with all the Army guys, and most of them were all with Heroes on the Water. So we had a good time, a bunch of us. Great group of people. Yeah, I'm getting back into creating content. Issues that have been plaguing me for a while are over. Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah, everything's over, so I'm actually able to get back out again, which I love. It's great.
So
I'm like you. I'm reading.
yeah, well,
sometimes
that was Dwayne Whaley texting me from Tourney X.
Yeah, I love what Turkey X is doing, and then he's over here texting him the whole time.
So
yeah, we just did our first slot series, national slot series event for Slay Nation on Tourney X, and it was great. I had 12 teams, 24 anglers, and it was so nice to be able to just get on there. I got the big screen in front of me and just bring up the fish. and just Tourney X makes it so simple to run a tournament. Um, we I I'm going to talk to Dwayne. I know he's got a lot going right now over there, but you can, when you say you're going to have a multi-day event, you can pick which day you want to fish.
Yeah.
So what I might do, I want to see if they can maybe do that for the team multi-day, where if you got a 3-day event for the team, they can fish which day they want to fish.
Yeah.
That would make it a little easier on me, but it's
Right.
okay.
Yeah. It's kind of with the Weekend Warrior series I run. I run it consecutive days, so like Saturday and Sunday. But I've got mice running in my head on the wheel for next year. To kind of revamp that series a little bit, just to kind of give more opportunities for people to fish that attend church on Sunday. So
Yeah, and that's why we do 2 days. You
yeah,
know, we give everybody, because not everybody can fish on Saturday.
right,
And then you got the poor guy that gets. Well, we did it last year, and it was a multi-single day, but it was individuals. You could pick a day. Guys would say, "Okay, I'm going to fish Saturday," and then Friday night, I get a text or a phone call. Oh man, Al, there's going to be a big storm tomorrow. Can I switch to Sunday? And I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'd switch them over to Sunday.
right,
But it's nice to be able to sit back on Thursday and say, okay, I got 24 anglers. I got 14 on Saturday and 10 on Sunday. Just have a little rough idea of what to expect.
yeah,
Um, the one thing I'm going to push is check in, check out. This way I have by 11 o'clock in the morning, because we do different time zones. By 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I'll know who's out and who's not.
yeah. We just need to get Mike on the judging side. Get him on the.
Send me in. I'm in. I'll help out. I mean, honestly, I'm fishing on the weekends, but I can try to do it from my boat while I'm out there.
Nah, you don't have to do it from your boat.
Nah,
Nah.
judge?
Nah,
I tried judging from my phone, and
yeah, it's
if you're going to approve the fish, it's easy. If you're going to deny the fish,
yeah,
man, and then you got to type. It's just a little tiny box. You can only see like 3 letters as you're typing. You know, so I use the laptop. It's
yeah,
a lot or the iPad. It's a lot easier. You can see more.
yeah,
I have a
yeah.
9-inch phone. It's not as big a deal.
Yeah, I got a small iOS.
Yeah, I gotta. Yeah,
Yeah,
mine's the
I
only
just
problem with it when I try to take photos in a tournament. It's hard to get back out of my pocket
uh,
because it turns sideways and it won't come back out of the pocket. And
you
I'm
don't
trying
have
to
a
hold the fish down. I do, but when it's dude, every single event that I've done so far, it's been raining, like pouring. So I keep it in my hood so that it doesn't get soaking wet the whole time. And like not even because the phone's getting wet, but like like if the screen's wet, you
yeah,
can't take a photo because it keeps trying to like do other crap, like it opens other screens,
yeah,
and I'm like, no. I tried to take a photo and it like opened YouTube and started playing videos, and I'm like, no, I'm trying to photo the damn fish so I can get it on the board. But
yeah. So
Mike, that's so funny because it's if you look at the new Wells Fargo commercial, you got the girl in the airport and she's got her phone on like a hanging from her, and it like hangs on a chain. And you see her just bring it up and talking, and she lets it back down. That's what we need when you're out on the water.
well, I have that.
A
I
little,
have that. And then I
little
shove the
chain.
phone into my pocket. I have one. I literally have a lanyard that hangs
Yeah.
here, and then it hooks into basically a thing around my neck. But the problem is like because it's been raining and windy, I've been literally stuffing it inside the hood pocket, and then I go to get in it. But what happens is I forget, and I'll grab it from the wrong side, so then I'm like choking myself
yeah,
because I'm trying to pull it through the hood.
I think we should come up with some kind of like camera device that hooks onto your bill of your hat, so you don't have to you just
Wireless.
pull out your phone. Yeah, just
Yeah.
and spit the fish like that. I don't know. But Mike, you fished a tournament where you had to do it old school way, right? Take your fish to
Yeah.
the
So you're talking about Tourney X and loving that. So we did our tournament trail here. Our Slay Nation here is going to be a paper tourney. because we have no service. Zero. Like you can't even
Yeah.
like low res submit a fish. It just doesn't exist. So we literally, I have an Excel sheet on my phone that I sort largest to smallest so I can auto cull. And then I type in the length of the fish so I know what my length is, because I had to actually like just do an auto sum on the 5 top fish.
Yeah.
And I'm literally taking like photos of the fish and then a photo of my toe and then photos of the fish and then my pedal drive. And then like, so like I have that separator, and then we're literally at the boat ramp. I'm going, where the hell is that 18? Like
Yeah.
trying to find the damn photo, add them to an album, and then hand them to the director to have him go through and literally use my phone.
So it's been a while back. I saw a guy on YouTube. He had like on the side of his seat or wherever on the side of his kayak that he would write his inches down on like use some kind of marker, or like an erase marker,
So,
or
it's you say that because I thought about doing that with almost like a tin tag, kind of like the blue whatever. You could almost do it with something like that, so then you could it would stay, but then you could wipe it off if you needed to.
Yeah.
But the thing with it is what I'm gonna do next time. It's gonna get harder because see, for this tournament, my teammate, I measured all the fish. He handed them to me. So like literally we were doing weird stuff. Like he was pedaling over to me, and the first fish he traded off, he just stuck his whole net in my net and then went back fishing. And then I measured the fish because he'd never done a tournament before, and he didn't want the added pressure of trying to get the right measurements and all that. So we literally because the way it works with the Slay Nation is you can be no bigger than like 30 yards apart. So we're in the same vicinity with the kayaks, but we're still next to each other. So if he hooked a fish, I would reel up, go up next to him. He'd take the fish off the hook, put it in his net, put his net in my net, dump it, so we knew for sure it wasn't going to get free, and then he'd go back fishing, and then I would take the pictures. This next one, I'm making him do his own. Like we're actually going to be practicing it Thursday, but the problem with it's going to be is we're going to have to figure out like who's got the big one and who's got what fish, and we're trying to work that out because that's where Turniac shines. I don't have to figure out where the hell that 18 went. It's calls those out and they're there.
Automatic.
So let me tell you about another app. It might help you out, Mike. It's called Scale.
Okay.
You kind of make your own game on it.
Okay.
It's kind of green.
Okay.
This guy, boy, whoever he is, created it. He sent me the link. I downloaded it. So you just go in there and hit new game.
Okay.
Put the anglers that you want in there, so you can just log your own fish right there on it.
Okay. Does it work offline though? Because like literally, we're talking like that's the biggest problem we have is like you're talking like your phone goes into like 911 only mode, like in some places. Like you might as well have your phone in airplane mode. Like it doesn't have any service at all.
So, like, let me see.
I'll have to check it out.
Yes. Like I'm trying to.
You said what is it called? Scale?
Yeah, Scale. It's kind of green. It's
what you do, Mike, is you got your identifier up on the board, right? On the scale. You got your identifier?
Yeah.
Maybe get a little like 4x4 or 4x2 square that you can attach to it.
Yeah.
That's a dry erase. And you could just put 01, take the photo, 02 for the next fish, 03 for the next fish. This way you have an idea.
I usually do this, like hold this, like 1, and then 2. Like
Mike should be able to do that. He only needs to count to 5.
Yeah. Dude, we caught so many fish on Sunday that like it sucked. It was a really fun day, but you ever got frustrated that you're still catching because you're like 14, god damn it, 14, god damn it. Like I don't want any of these. Like I need bigger ones. So it's like you're having fun catching all these fish, but like they're close enough. Like for a while there was like we had like a 15 as our lowest, right? So it was like 13 and a 15 at some points. your eyes can deceive you and you don't think it's as big as it is. And then so I ended up measuring a lot of fish that I didn't really need to end up measuring because we culled everything. Like everything we caught in the first 2 hour or 3 hours, we culled out in the last 3 hours. So like it was like everything got flipped over. And the problem was I couldn't go top to bottom because there was a couple in the middle that we got that were 18s. So like we ended up with like a lot, but it was basically like as we were fishing, it was one of those deals where I was constantly having to like mentally do the math because even though I had it in the Excel sheet, I was like, okay, I need another whatever fish, I need another whatever fish. And then when we got to shore, I was like going through and I was like, God damn, where is this? Because my Excel sheet told me what lengths I needed, but then I had to go find that photo and I wanted to make sure I gave him the right photo because I take like 6 of every fish because I'm paranoid. So I'm like, snap, snap,
So how do
snap,
you?
snap.
What do you just
Yeah.
show them the photo when you get to the
You
boat?
literally hand them your cell phone. You're like, here's my fish. So you can either go pull the photo up individually and hand him the phone, but I was so paranoid that he's going to swipe left or right and end up on the wrong fish. So I put all mine into an album in my phone and then handed the album to him. And I was like, these are all 5 of my fish in this album that's named for
with
the
this
lake.
app I was telling you about, Mike. So you can just like whatever fish, it'll give you your 5 biggest fish up here, and then it'll come across. It'll say coal line, and then it'll be all your other fish that you culled out. So
I'll have to check that out. You said it's called. Is it the only thing is it probably isn't an Android app. I'm willing to
Scale SCALE.
Okay.
And see, and when I see that I have fish, as a judge, instead of going to view submissions, I go to view standings. Because for me, I can go to individual and you get to see the top 5.
Right.
And I just look, okay, his are all green. Oh, there's a red. That means I got to judge that fish. So it helps me out because we are a slot series. I got to be able to take those 18 and under, and then the ones. And I got to be able to, even though you might have 5 at 18, I still got to deny one of them because you can only have 4 at 18.
Gotcha.
Right.
By view standings, it's easier for me.
Hey, Mike, try to type in scale-fishing challenges.
Okay.
That's what.
And the thing for me, honestly, it's funny is as challenging as doing it manually was. I actually personally, from my head, actually prefer not having the score. Like if I could, my best world would be if I could submit my fish and have them auto call and know what I have, but not know what the leaderboard is because I'm the guy that like when I played beer gut softball, people would ask me the score. I was the scorekeeper on my team. I ran my team. And I didn't know what the score was. I refused to add it up because if I know that we're down by a run, I'm going to make a mistake trying to push it. The same thing with fishing. If I know I'm down by 3 inches in a tournament, I'm going to make a stupid decision trying to force to get that bigger fish. Whereas if I just fish for the sake of fishing, I perform better. So I actually prefer not to know what the score is because it gets in my head. So having no app is actually nice for me because of that. But I like if this works, that's going to help me because then I can just submit my fish and have them somewhere where I can see them. But I don't care where everybody else is at because I will get in my own head if I know what the score is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, we've been going for about an hour and 15 minutes, man. So,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Always good.
Always good to talk to you, Al. And if anybody's listening, anybody watching, if you are a content creator and you can produce nice content and want to get your stuff on other formats than YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, wherever, hit Al up. Yeah, there's so many platforms you can put it on. What, golly,
yeah, there's dozens of them. And the nice thing about what we offer, it's on your TV. I mean, you can see behind me there's a TV.
Yeah.
Usually I usually have something playing, but I've had an issue with this laptop. It doesn't like playing well with two TVs. So, but we're available on Roku, Fire TV, Android, iOS. The gentleman that does our Fire TV app, if I give him free reign, we'll be on every app there is available. He's got them already in his mind. He's already got us on Google TV and Samsung TV and LG. He wants to put us on everything, and I do too, you know. And we will start in a few months. I'll work with him and we'll start adding more and more to it. That area, you can see the upcoming live shows.
Yeah.
And we do
So-
that for our content creators.
I'm going to be
We'll
on that.
give you a chance to promote your stuff. If you click on the bottom, you should be able to see if you click on the show, it should give us the show. The bottom, you should be able to see. Yeah,
There you go.
See, if you click on, it's showing you. It should give us.
Cool.
Turn off the audio. But, yeah, and
So,
this is what I mean by
Yeah.
I want to make this as interactive as we can. It's there are so many content creators out there that deserve to have their content seen. I mean, we're in a sport that may have 50,000 participants, but there's no reason why we can't all get our content out there. And Michael, you've been working with several content creators over the last few months and watching some of their content. Yeah, I'd love to get it on our network. I think there's I go through YouTube all day long. I mean, I bounce through through content pages all day, and I'm like, man, this guy's got 40 or 50 videos in the last 2 years, say between last year and so far this year, in that 25-minute range.
Yeah.
This guy's got a whole season of shows. He can show from now through the end of the year a new show every week. So we want to get more content creators on the main channel with that 27, 28-minute show on a weekly basis. That's our goal, to make it so that everybody that wants to have their own TV show every Thursday night at 9:30, you can watch our show. And like we said at the beginning of this, 7 to 11 would be, say, our prime time. Then we move at 11, we replay the 7 to 11 time slot. This way we hit prime time on the West Coast. Central and the West Coast gets to see the videos in a reasonable time frame. So it is a great channel. It is a great network. And the way we're building it, we're going to get the sponsors, the advertisers, to pick up the cost so that the content creators can concentrate on making content. I did a show back in March. I went to a trade show. I sat down with someone from the Outdoor Channel, a content creator, and they were like, when we first started this, you go out, we'd film each other, and you'd have maybe a friend film you today, and tomorrow you'd film your friend. You come back, you edit it, you put it in the mail and send it off to the network, and it was on show. And it was no problems. Now you wake up in the morning and you go into an office with 15 other people, between cameramen, audio men, producers, directors, and everybody else. You go to shoot and you're standing there with 6 people watching you. They're all one guy's holding the microphone boom over you.
We had a drone on Sunday show up.
Yeah. And
one of the competitors
I
has a buddy
there.
with a drone, and I was like, "Oh, I'm on camera." Like
Yeah.
I actually ended up using the footage in my video that's going to hit on Saturday. But yeah, it's like one of the guys in the tournament trail his buddy has a drone and he does like a lot of cool videos, and he showed up and was filming a bunch of us. So it was really cool to like, and that's the thing is when you go to these tournaments, the more and more, especially the kayak tournaments, you see a lot of GoPros. Like you start
yeah,
to see
certainly.
almost everybody, and it's because of sponsors. It's because
Yeah.
let's be honest, if they're promoting you, they want to see the content, and it's
And
a
I
perfect
think
opportunity to get the content out because you film it and
Yeah.
post it on the network, and now you can go, hey, not only is my video on Instagram, not only is my video on YouTube, but it's on the network too. So now, the little old people that don't know how to use the YouTubes, they can watch it on the Roku that they already
Yeah,
have the grandkids set up.
yeah.
I've actually had one of my family members text me and say, "Hey, I seen you on TV." I was like, "What you watching?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it
and,
good or
and like Michael said, the sponsors. And I think kayak anglers have embraced the filming their content more than the other types of bass fishing. Kayakers have really gotten to where they've perfected how to get those angles. You have a front camera facing back, a back camera facing forward, and do that content. And like Michael, even
Yeah.
there are so many. I have that Insta 360. I can put it up behind me,
Yep.
and it films on a 360.
I'm going to get one of those eventually for my bass boat because it's going to follow me around, because there's some times where you're trying to catch a fish and you got to go around, they start heading towards the motor and you got to net them, and then all of a sudden you're off frame, whereas that camera's going to just kind
Yeah.
of follow you around.
What I like about the
Yeah.
Insta 360, yeah, you got that. And with the Insta 360, you can set that up. And if you cast off to the left and you're reeling and you get a bite and you're bringing that in, you can have the camera, you can spot lock that and have the camera follow that in
Yep.
as you come in, and I like that. I got to learn how to use the Insta 360. I, I, every time, unfortunately, my laptop doesn't have the RAM to really use the software the way I want to.
That's going to be
So,
sneaky for top water, man. If you can get that to like lock on your frog,
Oh
and
yeah,
then walk a frog across top pads and have that thing follow your frog while you're popping that,
yeah,
dude, that would be amazing. Because that's the
I
hardest
watched the
thing with
video.
like the GoPros, the distance isn't
Yeah.
there. So you'll see like a little boil, but you don't get that big like event because you
Well,
can't catch it.
I watched a video where the guy was showing you how to do different things with the Insta 360. And he stood at the doorway and he walked in front of the camera. And what he did was he highlighted an area, and then the camera just it followed that highlight. It followed him and that same frame the
Yep.
whole way. And that's what I did when I did one of my fishing videos. When I first got to 360,
Yeah.
I cast, and as I was reeling it in, I zoomed in and just followed the lure, and I zoomed back out
That's
to show
cool.
me. And once you learn that Insta 360, it's going to change the content we see.
Yep.
It's going to make
It's
it a
like
lot
having a
more
cameraman in the
interactive.
back of your boat for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have
Yeah,
to have
it's
somebody
like
that
having a
hands
cameraman
it.
on a kayak.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. So
All right, got quiet on the comments.
yeah, I think
They're probably still tired from my 3.5 hour
Yeah.
marathon last night.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you, Al, for joining us again on the Main Contained Fishing Podcast. And
Anytime. Thank you guys for being part of it and
yeah,
for what you two do. You two are, a big influence. You guys have been, like I said, you two have been around the longest with this. So you guys have done a lot, and you've you've seen me through a lot in the last 18 months of my life.
Yeah.
You guys have been there for me, and I appreciate it. And we're gonna just keep this going.
Yeah.
I'm not stopping. I'm gonna just keep growing, and we're gonna add more features. Someone mentioned at the beginning. Well, they didn't mention on here. One of Ted's messenger was posted earlier today during the show was we need to do some live stuff on the network.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, we could.
To do that, it's a little costly, but the downside right now is only Roku. So the iOS, Android, Fire
Yeah.
TV won't. They'll see regular programming, but the live will kick in on Roku.
Right.
I want to
Yeah,
wait until.
me and Mike's discussed a little bit if we could do a podcast live from our kayaks while we're fishing.
Dude, I've tried.
Yeah,
It's tricky, man, but
Yeah,
you have to get the right spot, dude. The problem I have with it is so it's actually annoying. DJI lets you live stream from the camera
right.
in Wi-Fi. So I would need. I've tried it and I haven't mastered it yet. I tried to cheat it and use my phone as a hotspot to then have my camera connect to my phone. So
Yeah.
then that way I could work as the internet. So it thinks it's on Wi-Fi. And I haven't quite tested it outside of my house where I don't have internet to see how it works. But that would be the way to do it. But it's tricky because I can't see comments.
Yeah.
Like I have no idea
you
what people
can't.
are saying. Like I'm just talking to the camera. But my boy Mainstream's been doing a lot of lives from his kayak though, down in Jersey. I've seen him go live quite a bit.
But what you can do is you can bring this show live and
Yeah.
then just send yourself a link and
Yeah.
bring it up on the live stream.
Right.
Yeah, you could do that.
Because that's what we did last year with one of the organizations. I went live and we had anglers on the water that would join us. Just pop in and join us.
Yeah.
Right. I even thought about just doing a single, like just going live on my, just go live on my Facebook or YouTube channel, just set the phone in a tripod,
Yep.
like a secure tripod in front of you and just kind of do a
So
live that way.
if it works, I guess I'm kind of giving a little bit of a secret here, but I don't know if it's gonna work, so I didn't advertise it. But my tournament is the 19th of May. The one half of the lake, I have decent enough cell phone service that I may try to live stream the beginning portion of the tournament. I might just and I'll be honest, it may not be all that entertaining because it's probably going to be a lot of me being stressed out trying to find fish, but it might be entertaining for people. This body of water
That'd be
is
entertaining.
well, the thing is, this place is kind of an unknown because I've only fished it 3 or 4 times. I'm going to be fishing it hard over the next couple of weeks, but it has a huge blue-green algae bloom. Like, legitimately, this place turns into Mountain Dew water by July, and I just don't fish it because I don't want to have to then disinfect my kayak every time so I can go fish somewhere else. So, like, I don't fish it as much as I should because it's a fun lake to fish, but I don't want to have to go down through my kayak with a wet wipe every time I go fishing and clean my reels out. Like this stuff is so thick, it's in your reels. Like it's in your braid. So you have to like pull your line out of your reels and spray your reels down. It's disgusting. So it's not really fun to like deal with. So I don't fish it a lot. But that first part of that tournament, dude, is going to be just me going, where the hell are these damn fish? So,
Yep.
Yeah. So
Well, we were mentioning Ted, and Ted just responded.
yeah.
That he does live streams.
yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, Ted's with Off the Hook Outdoors. He's got a channel on the network. He
Yeah.
also contributes to our Sportsman 101, our how-to channel. But yeah, check out Ted Off the Hook Outdoors on YouTube, and you're going to see a lot of good stuff, hunting, fishing. And like I said, he contributes a lot to our Sportsman 101. You want some product reviews, Ted's got some great ones.
Yep.
Good deal.
And he does go live a lot. I will say that. he's always on there.
He's a live fanatic.
So, yeah, and he goes live on YouTube all the time. I've watched several of his live bait shows where he's just gone live and made bait. was making baits while talking. He does a great job.
Yeah. So we'll be going for an hour and a half now, so we're gonna cut out on y'all's folks, man.
All right.
Mike's been talking the world up in the last 2 days.
Yeah, I'm on Slay Station tomorrow with Frankie from Slay Nation, so I'll be on that. Which he streams that on the network too, right? Or does he at least post it later? Right? I think
we post it later. We post it later on the network. I'll have it up on the website though for people that want to watch it.
Yep.
It's at 9:00, so I'll watch it.
Yeah. Me and my teammate from the tournament are going on to talk with him for a little bit. So
gotcha.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
So I want to kind of sum up everything from our Spotify listeners that can't see the video but can listen. TAAO.live is the network. Go over there and visit it, download it to your Androids, your Apple, Roku, Fire Stick. So, but yeah, there's some great shows, some great content on there. If you are a content creator and want to get your stuff on the network, reach out to Al and he will fill you in how to get that content on the network.
If you can't find Al, hit up Binya Outdoors or Southeast Georgia, and we'll get you there.
Yeah.
So
well,
if you guys can't find Al, you can find us and hit us up.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Once again, Al, thank you for a great night, and we'll be talking. We'll be talking, and as always, wear your PFD and everybody fish on and have a great weekend.
Yep.